Hello, my name's Jo Dobson and I'm the support librarian for Sociology. In this short video, we're going to look at finding information for your dissertation and offer extra ideas on how you might manage that information and find help for referencing. The starting point, I think, can be seen in two different sections. First of all, begin with what you know. You will have already taken modules that will help you with the information you need, give you the key topics that might need to be explored further. Once you've started to think about these topics and pulled out your keywords, then you can do a quick scoping search in Library Search and Google Scholar. If you find there isn't any information immediately available, often revisiting your question and changing it a little bit can help this. The example I'm going to use is why are fewer people giving to charities? With any title, whether it's an assignment or a project, the first thing you need to do is think about the topics involved. For me, I'm particularly interested here in the charity issue and also the people's behavioural approach to giving to charities and how this might change. Once you understand the question a little bit more and the topics involved, you can break it down and think about the key words. I've particularly looked at two keywords here, charities and giving. Words are a key part of how successful your research will be. With the charities one, for example, what I've done is abbreviated it and put an asterisk. This is called truncation. It's a simple process by which the system will look for every variation of the word charity, charities, charity, so you don't miss anything. The second way of actually improving your research results is to think of alternatives. Just because you think of one term doesn't mean other people haven't defined it differently. For example, giving might be donate. And in the same way as we truncated charities, we can do this with donations, donating. Other terms might be bequeathed. So having these key terms means you've just got more options to finding the information. If there's difficulty with the information, it can be just revisiting this list makes all the difference. Once you've got the topics and keywords started off, you can think about the type of information you need. Obviously, you need the background and introduction to your topics generally, and these will often be fulfilled by looking at textbooks. However, increasingly, you will have found in your last 2 years that journal articles play a key role, as they're going to give you the evidence and examples you need when you're writing your assignments, etc. For the topics that you cover in the project, it's also a good idea to set up some sort of current awareness ideas so you know what's happening at this very moment in time, what's happening in the newspapers, the television and the radio. Finally, but not least of all, think about statistics and policy. How might they feed into your project? What role can they play in helping you make the points you want to? All those types of information can be found in Library Search, Google Scholar, and our subject guides. We mentioned scoping search. Hopefully you're already familiar with Library Search and the options it gives you to filter and refine. A simple rule here is if you are finding something in Library Search that you then find difficult to access, then please let us know. Books can still be obtained by click and collect, and journal articles can be obtained by document supply if they are not electronically available. Scholar would be your next step, but only within Library Gateway. Scholar itself may give you those few additional articles that make a difference to the assignment you're going to write. Both of these can be found on the library homepage from the resources area. So we have Library Search and its help options, Google Scholar, and a little bit further down we lead into the subject guides. These may be an area you've not used before, but basically each department is covered by a specific sort of information web pages. With the subject guide, you got not only help with finding books, but more importantly, you are led through to different databases. An important part of making your dissertation complete is to look at the subject guides and not just necessarily the one in your own subject area. For example, with this one about charities, we might want to look at the business guide, or we might want to look at psychology. So having moved on from the subject guides, we then start to identify articles that we're going to use in our research. Now, after the idea of finding alternatives, I think this idea of citation searching is key. One good article can lead you to another number of other examples. That's simply by following the leads out. For example, you've got the references that you use themselves, you've got what else the authors have written, and then you've got the cited by. What do they refer to in that article that you yourself might be able to use? So what I suggest you do after this is actually have a look at some of the other videos included with this, and this will explain this citation searching or growing your search a little bit more. You're going to be working with far more volumes of information than before, so you need to think about managing it. You may or may not have used RefWorks before, our main information management system available online and remotely. The help for this is available from the referencing guide, and we also run workshops on it on a weekly basis if you want to get going. I've mentioned already document supply. At this point, you really are in a position where if you find something you want but can't get it easily, then you need to liaise with the library, particularly in the situation we're in at the moment where we're working largely online. To say, the referencing guide is similarly available from the library homepage, and if you want to carry on with ordinary referencing, some of these may help you reference some of the types of information you might not have used before. And then we've got the links through to RefWorks, say where you can transfer references directly into your database, and then from the database you can link it into your actual work. So well worth a look. Alongside the actual information side of things, you should also think about the Skills Centre and what options they give you. They are the experts in academic writing. There's also the option of using Studiosity, which you might have used before. So these go hand in hand, not only with your dissertation, but also with getting your skills to a level that are good for going out into employment next year. At the end of this, you'll probably still need some more help in any way. We have chat available from library homepage. We've got the social media to keep in touch with what we're doing, phone, etc. and standards. These are all the standard sort of contacts. But I would encourage you, if you have specific questions about your own dissertation, please do not hesitate in contact me. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you.